Thanks for following me. Thanks for your advice and your support. I really appreciate it. Today too, I want to teach you how to sew a simple, loose, classy dress. You will love it. And so this is the style I'm talking about. And so I'm going to teach you how to wear, and this is the fabric I am going to use. This is 2.5 yard fabric, 2.5, and this is double length, and it's a stretchy fabric too. And so this is what I'm going to do. I'll first teach you how to take measurement for this dress. When you look at the dress, it has a long sleeve, and also it's a cold shoulder dress, and it has a strapped sleeve also here. And so we are going to learn how to sew that dress. Now when you measure from, you put your tape measure here on your shoulder, then you measure. You will decide where you want the sleeve to end, the strapped sleeve to end, or where you want the dress to start from. And mine, I want it at 5, and so this is 5 here, and so from shoulder this is here 5. Then I'll measure from here, from the 5 here to my lower waist. The dress is at the lower waist level. Look at the measurement, it's 20. Yes, I want it at 20, exactly 20. Then you will decide, because it's folded on, it's a dress that is fold on top. You will decide how you want the fold. You will decide how you want the fold here. And so let's say you decide, let's say I'm making it 28, and so 28, this is how it's going to be. This is how it's going to be. This is the 28. So it's be folded like this, 28. If it's too long, you can decide to make it 27 or 26. So it means we are going to cut the length of the dress. We are going to the upper part. We are going to cut 28. And then you measure also from where it stops. Part here, this is the lower part. And so you measure from here to where you want the dress, the length of the dress to be, where you want. If you want it exactly on your knees, it's here. So on your knees too, you will decide if it's on your knees 17, or if you want it below your knees too, you will decide the length, maybe 18, or so you will decide. Then you are not going to use your waist measurement for the down here. You are going to use your hip measurement so that you can easily wear it, because it's a stretchy fabric. You are not going to, the way the style is, you are not going to have a zip on, and so you have to use the hip measurement. And so my hip measurement is what I will use for the waist instead of the waist measurement. So I'll use my hip measurement for it. Yes, this is my hip measurement. 44 is okay, or 43. Then my bust measurement is 42. I can make it 43 or 42. 42 is okay, that's 42. So that is the measurement we are going to work with. So this is our fabric. We are going to cut the upper part first. But know that when you are cutting, because you'll be using chalk, you are going to measure from the inside, not the outside of the fabric. Okay, so I will fold my up part. My bust area is 42. I am going to add 6 inches to it. You can decide to add more than that or less than that, depending on how you want the dress to look on you. And so I'm going to add 6 inches to it, and it will be 48. 48 divided by 4 will be 12. And so I'm folding my fabric to 12. Okay, so I have 18 here. So if I want 12, this is 12. But I will need allowance also, and I'm adding 2 inches allowance to it. You can make it 1 inch or 1.5, but I'm making it 2 inch. When I finish and it's too big, I'll just reduce it. So instead of 12, I'm going to make it 14. So when you are cutting, you don't just measure and cut. You have to consider your fabric, because you don't want to spoil your fabric. You consider the fabric and then cut. So this is 14. This is 14. Yes, this is 14. And this one is not straight, but I'll just take it as it is. When I finish, I will straighten it. This is 14, but here is 15.5 because it's not straight. No problem. I'll still cut it at 15 or 15.5 or even 16. When I finish, I'll straighten it. And so when I did the calculation, the measurements from my shoulder to my lower bust is 25. From here to here is 25. Plus the folding allowance, that is 8, which is going to be 33. But I will deduct 5 from it. So from here to here plus the folding allowance is 28. I will add 1 to 8 to make it 29. The extra 1 is going to be for sewing allowance. So 29. I'm cutting 29 for the lower part. Sorry, for the upper part. 29 for the upper part. This is 29. This is for front part of the dress. This is for the front part. Front. I'm going to cut another one also for the back. I've cut for both back and front. This is for back and front for both. Okay, and I've trimmed it. So it's now straight, just as I want it. And so you are going to place our measurements on it. And so you place your back measurement. My back measurement is 16. And 16 divided by 2 is going to be 8. And so place 8 here. And then my armhole measurement. My armhole is 18. 18 divided by 2 is going to be 9. Is going to be 9. And because I've taken 5 from it, this is 5. And so my 5 will be here. This is my 9. But I'll add half to it, making it 9.5. Or I can even decide to cut it 10. So you will mark it with your ruler. Make sure you get it well. Okay. Then from here to you are going to get it straight. But this is what I'm going to do. I am going to reduce my back measurements because the back measurement ends here, somewhere here. And that is where the sleeve starts from. And this dress, when you look at it, you realize that it's we have a strap sleeve here before the coat shoulder. That is the long sleeve coat type. And I don't want my my strap sleeve to start from the exact this position, exactly this position. I want it to come in a bit. And so I'm going to reduce it by 1 inch. I'm going to reduce it by 1 inch. And this is, I'll reduce it by 1 inch. Yes. And then, so this is it. So I'll place my curve here for the armhole here. It should be exactly on the line. Then I will mark it for my armhole. I'll mark it for my armhole. So this is it. I'll mark it for my armhole. Okay. So, and you can decide to leave it straight like this, but I want it to, especially the front, to come in at least 1 inch, come down a bit, 1 inch. And so I'm going to mark 1 inch here, 1 inch at the neck area. It's going to be for the front, not the back, for the front. So I'll cut only the front. Then I'm going to use this, my skirt curve, to bring the shape very well. You can also decide to cut it for both front and back. So it's going to be like this. So we are done with the upper part of the dress. So this is it. This is the front part. This is the front part. So we are done with the upper part. We are going to cut the lower part of the dress. So I'll put this one aside and we'll cut the lower part of the dress. So we are going to cut the down parts of the dress. And when I measured from my lower waist here to my knee, it was 17. But I'm not going to cut exactly 17. I'm going to add about 4 inches to it to make it 21. So that when I sew and I fold inside, I fold the down part, I'll get either 18 length or 19. I don't want it exactly on my knee. I want a bit longer because it's a stretchy fabric. When you are walking, it can be pulling up. So I can even decide to add more allowance to it. And this type of dress, the way it is, if you wear it very long 3/4 type, it doesn't really look classy. That's the way you want, but below your knee it's okay. And so I can decide to add, instead of 4 inches, I can decide to add 6 inches to it. So 17 plus 6 will be 23. 17 plus 6 will be 23. And so we are going to cut 23 length of the fabric. 3. So we have 23 here. 23. This is okay. I would rather take it from the down. So 23 here. 23. So this is my 23. This is my 23. And my hip is 44. 44 divided by 2 be 22. And then 22, I added 4 inches to it, making 26. And so when we measure the breadth of the fabric, this is 26. So 26 for the front and 26 for the back. I didn't add any loose allowance to it because the dress is a fitting, the down part is a fitting one. It's not loose like the top, the upper part. So I didn't add loose allowance to it, just sewing allowance that I added, that's 2 inches. So your measurement divided by 2 plus 4. The 4 inches is allowance, that is 2 inches will be here, 2 inches will be here. If it's too much for you, you can reduce this to 1 inch because this is a stretchy fabric. So 1 inch here and there will be okay for you. And so I'm marking my 23 through 23. For the down part, so I'm going to fold it in 2 again, making it 4. So this is it, making it 4. Now this is now the waistline, but I'm not going to use waistline measurements for it. We are going to use the hip measurement for it, and so we'll maintain this one exactly, the measurement exactly how it is. Then you measure from your waist, the lower waist here, from here to where your hip is located. So this is my hip, it's 7, and so I'll measure from here. I'm going to make it 7.5. So this is my hip, this is where my hip is. Then I'll take my hip measurements. This is where my hip is. Now when we come here, this is the down, it's a pencil kind of dress, so I'm going to reduce this side by 2 inches. 2 inches. Then I will join from here to here. I'm going to make it, instead of 7, I'm going to make it 7.5. I'll make it exactly 7. So I will join to the 2-inch here, so I can get my pencil shape very well. Then I'll cut it. So that is it. So that's front and back of the dress. This is it, front and back. We have one here and one here. So we are going to cut our sleeve. When we look, we are going to cut the strip one, the strip sleeve, and this, when you measure, is more than 4, which is 5 inches. It's 5 inches. When I fold and sew, it will be exactly 2 inches. When I fold, 2.5. So when I sew, it will reduce to 2 inches. And so I'm making it 2 inches. I can even decide to make it lesser than that. And the length, you see, we measured 5. From here to here was 5. So back and front will be what? 10. Back and front will be 10. And so this is 10. The length, this one, the length is 28, which is okay. I'll divide it into 2, 14. So I can use it to sew for the sleeve. And that is going to be 14, 14, which is okay. Which is okay, because I'll need allowance here and I'll need allowance there too. So that's okay for me. When I fold and sew, it will be, the end result will be something like this. For the strap sleeve, I'll get it like this. Okay, and so put this one aside. Then we are going to cut the sleeve for the long sleeve too. The long sleeve from my shoulder to my sleeve here, from here to, this is how I take my self measurement. It's 21, but I'm not going to cut exactly 21 because I'll be adding this thing to it, band to it. So I'll add like 4 inches. And my armhole, we are going to cut the sleeve base using the armhole measurement. My armhole is 18. I'm going to make it 20 for allowance. So when I take this measurement, is 20.5, which is okay. Then from here to here is 21. That is for my shoulder, sorry, my long sleeve. But I'm going to add 4 inches band to it. So instead of 21, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'll cut it at 17. But for sewing allowance, I'll cut it at 18. And since it's a cold shoulder, we are going to cut it in a cold shoulder form. And so cold shoulder, my armhole is, this is my armhole. I'm measuring 4 here. This is 4. This is standard. So 4. And then here to here is off shoulder sleeve. We are cutting it off shoulder sleeve, and so mark here 4, but I'll mark it 5. Mark it 5. So this is 5. Then I'm going to reduce this side by 2. 2, or let's say 3 crab. 2.5. I'm going to make it 2.5. Will be okay. So we'll connect this one. We'll connect here to the armhole. This one will be for the shoulder to the armhole. Then we'll connect this also to this. So this is it. This is what we are going to have. So we'll cut this way. When it comes to the wrist, we are not going to cut anything here because it's gathered. So this place, we'll gather it at this place and then add a band to it. So we'll cut it. So that's a sleeve for you. When you open it, it will look like a dress. This is our cold sleeve. That's how we cut cold sleeve. That's our cold sleeve. We'll gather this place so there will be no need for shade. So we are going to cut a band for the wrist. A band for the wrist. And we're going to cut 3 inches based on your wrist measurements. Usually it's 9 or 8. Yes, 9 or 8. So the round wrist, this one is, the length is okay, 5.5. Okay, so I'm going to cut for 2. Instead of 9, I'm going to cut this 11. By the time I sew everything, to reduce to 8 or 9. I just don't want to put myself at a difficult position, so that's what I'm going to do. For the 2 sleeve, I'll fold it this way to 11. So this is going to be something like this for the wrist, like this. Hope you can see. It's going to be something like this. Okay, so I am done with cutting the dress, and we'll continue with sewing, how to sew it. So I'll bring you another video. The part 2 of this video is on how to sew the dress. We'll be putting everything together. Thanks so much for watching me. Please, if you have not yet subscribed, consider subscribing and share the video. Don't forget to like and leave a comment. Let me know what you think about it. So this is for the wristband. This is for the strap here. This is our strap. This is our sleeve, our corded sleeve. And then this is the down parts, and this is the upper parts. This is the upper parts. So thanks so much for watching, and God richly bless you. Please subscribe to my channel. Bye bye.